Good morning. So this is great. Everybody quieted down without any sort of a signal, flashing of lights or any of the other things that the elementary folks do. Don't expect that will happen necessarily next week when you walk into your classroom. Although, all in all, Hingham kids are pretty darn good, we think. So, welcome. You are the class of 2017. Just about everybody. We have a couple of people who started later in the year last year who are here today. We always invite them back because they missed last year's orientation, but most of you are new to the Hingham Public Schools, and we welcome you. And you'll hear a lot about that welcome in the next few days. Before we get started with the other business of the day, I'd like to introduce our METCO team. And first up will be the coordinators, Rich Florence, and he's a teacher here at Hingham Middle School, and Courtney Stevenson, who is a teacher at Foster School. They'll introduce the rest of their team.
We're going to be working with you over the next 2 days for the orientation, so we just wanted you to get to know our faces. And I'm going to introduce the building coordinators, because every building has a coordinator, and that will be your go-to person in the building. So I'm Courtney Stevenson. Rich Florence is the other co-director with me. We have Rose Yazio, who is our building coordinator at East. Joan Kilban, who is our building coordinator at Plymouth River. Suzanne Green, our building coordinator at Hingham Middle School. Eileen Sharkey, who's our building coordinator at Hingham High School. And Cathy LeBlanc, who is our coordinator at South. So we look forward to a fun-filled 2 days with you. We will be seeing you when you return from your bus tour. We'll be meeting you out in the front hallway, and we'll end up coming back in here after you return. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like this one?
Do you want to say something? Thank you. And these folks will be shepherding you about over the next 2 days. And we are so fortunate in Hingham to have such a great team. The AGA has always taken charge of the mentoring and the orientation, and we are very grateful to all of them, and I think you will feel the same way when tomorrow ends, later in the day tomorrow. These are 2 really long days, and we always feel that if you can get through these 2 days, then you're going to make it for the year. We haven't lost anyone yet during the orientation. I will say, and some of you have heard this story, that many years ago, when I was a math and science director, I hired someone late with a late resignation, and that person arrived, was a new teacher, brand new teacher from out of state, found a rooming house in Quincy to live, hoping he'd meet up with a buddy that could maybe share an apartment with him. Very excited, was here in the orientation, and the first day of school came, and he didn't show up. I was worried initially that he overslept, but I called the rooming house where I always hesitate to say the little old lady because it could be me, but in any event, she said, "Oh my dear, he packed up the car on Sunday," and this was the day after Labor Day, and he went home. And about 6 weeks later, I got a brown envelope, and in the envelope were the chemistry books and the other things that I had given him when we met, and he included a note in it. Said, "Really sorry for what I did. I didn't handle it very well, but I just got cold feet." So you all look bright and confident and in charge, and I don't anticipate any of you will get cold feet. But remember, I can find you. Those are the days we didn't. And I would find you and try to convince you to come back, that it would be all right in the end. But in those days, it was before cell phones and all kinds of communication that we now have. But I tell that story usually to all the new teachers as we hire them. So this morning is going to be very busy. We'll spend the next half hour or so with introductions, many of them, and words of welcome. And then at 9, the big yellow bus is outside, will be outside the front door where you came in, and you go off on the tour. And we have a tour director who is an administrator that grew up in Hingham, and she's here. Jen, where are you? So you want to be following Jen Henriksen. Jen is an assistant principal at Hingham High School. So first, some words of welcome. I'm happy to introduce Liza O'Reilly. Mrs. O'Reilly is the chair of the school committee, lives here in Hingham with her 3 daughters, 2 of whom now are off to college. So that's kind of a traumatic time, I would guess, spending the second one. But in any event, Liza O'Reilly.
So, good morning. It's my honor to serve as chair of the school committee this year, and joining me here today are 2 other school committee members, Ed Schreier, who is in his 7th year and our most senior member of our group, and Michelle Eyre. And Michelle is the most junior member of our group, and she's serving in her 1st year. It's very nice to see all of our veteran staff, and for our new colleagues, welcome to Hingham, and thank you for joining the Hingham Public Schools staff. We are excited to share this first day of the 2017-18 school year with you. I wanted to tell you a little bit about us. The school committee endeavors to support students at every level to achieve educational excellence, inspire them to do their best, and develop good citizens. We hope that our support allows you to be your best as well. We are the representatives of the 22,000 citizens of Hingham. Our schools educate about 4,250 students from more than 2,300 families. Over 670 dedicated staff work in 6 schools covering 686,000 square feet of space. Our 7-member committee includes parents of students from all levels of the district, elementary, middle, and high school, plus recent and past graduates. Our professional experiences contribute skills from the financial, legal, human resources, marketing, diversity training, management, editorial, and education fields. The school committee makes sure that every penny spent is spent wisely, policies are innovative and fair, and that experienced staff are leading the district. We collaborate with the Board of Selectmen, Advisory Committee, each other, and the staff to maximize the resources available from the town, state, and federal grants. We pursue efficiencies and find innovative solutions to challenges. It's a big job, but we are all committed to doing good, being thoughtful, and creating a happy and respectful community. Hingham has a lot to be proud of. Our elementary schools and middle school do a tremendous job creating the foundation for future success. Hingham High School is a nationally recognized blue and green ribbon school, AP Scholar honoree, and Newsweek America's top high school honored twice. 94% of our graduates go on to 4-year colleges, and a wide variety of post-secondary opportunities are available to all students. All of the schools have vibrant, active support from hundreds of volunteers who support our staff and students with supplemental enrichment programs and grants. The Hingham Education Foundation and numerous businesses provide additional generous support as well. We are fortunate to have talented leadership and staff with broad experiences. The leadership has just about seen it all, and are experienced educators who look for common sense practices while adapting to innovations that make a positive difference. And finally, we have good kids and committed families. It is because of the schools that multiple generations of families remain here and new families relocate to this South Shore community. So we thank you for wanting to join this special community. We look forward to helping you be the best that you can be and we hope that you let us know how we can do that. Congratulations on becoming an East Explorer or a Plymouth River Wizard, or you may be fostering heroes at Foster or buzzing with character at South, and others of you become proud harbor women and harbor men at the middle school and the high school. Together, we are all Hinghamites, and together we will help students be the best that they can be. So welcome to the 2017-18 school year. I look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you.
Next, it's my pleasure to introduce a representative of the Board of Selectmen. In Hingham, we have 3 selectmen who lead our ship, and this year's chair is a parent of students at middle and high school this year. Oh, both at high school. Oh my goodness, I missed a couple of years. So anyway, Mary Power, Chair of the Hingham Board of Selectmen.
Good morning. This was the first morning when I was driving up here and realizing that I'm no longer a middle school parent, I'm an alum. But welcome. Welcome to Hingham. Welcome to the Hingham community. Thank you so much for making us your employer of choice. You know, here in Hingham, Liza mentioned many of the wonderful things about Hingham, and I'll add one more. Hingham is the only community in the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts that has a AAA bond rating. And that is due in such large part, as we are told, to the quality of our management and all the people who work and volunteer for the town. And we're just so grateful that all of you have chosen to come here to Hingham. I've had the opportunity through volunteering through the town to see what a wonderful education system we have. I'm a little bit biased, but I think we have the best superintendent in the country. And I know that each of you, before coming here, interviewed with Dr. Gallo. And I think what that speaks to, again, is how important it is to bring qualified, high-caliber people to come and be part of our Hingham team. And as we've seen, our schools have received so many accolades over the years, and we know that that's going to continue. You know, as a parent, I've been able to experience the Hingham Public School system, and I actually believe that a couple of you will have a few of my children this year. And from that perspective, I see teachers who, in so many different ways, go a little bit above and beyond what's expected. And maybe it's a phone call to a parent, it's approaching a student who might be a little reticent to approach the teacher. It's maybe volunteering to help with kids after school who want to start a club and need somebody to supervise their activity. As both a parent and a volunteer for the town, we're just so extraordinarily grateful for everybody who goes above and beyond and does that little extra effort. It really, really does make a difference in our community and in our families. And so we look forward to getting to know all of you and being part of that. So again, welcome. Please enjoy the next 2 days. And we hope that next week is as exciting for you as it will be for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, next we'll move on with introductions, and I'd like to introduce my team at Central Office. First of all, Jamie Lavillois, and where are you? There's Jamie. Jamie was in charge of shepherding you through the line for the little video clip. I had hoped that he was going to wear the bee outfit that he had for last year's spelling bee, but he chose to be a little more professionally dressed today. John Ferris, who's the Director of Business and Support Services. and Liz Curlin, who's the Director of Student Services. And all of you will be meeting with Liz tomorrow afternoon in this building for Special Ed 101, I guess is what we call the workshop that will happen in the afternoon tomorrow. So I would like to introduce some new staff who are district-wide. And so the principals will introduce the teachers who will be in their buildings, but these folks come across the district. So folks in that category here today. First of all, Katie Joyon. Katie is over here. Katie is brand new, and she is assistant to the Director of Food Services. So she's helping out in the kitchen, but welcome to you, Katie. Also, someone that the elementary principals are going to be thrilled to see is Colin McGinnis. Where's Colin? And Colin is filling a position that we've awaited for several years. We had him on our list, but we had to wait our turn in terms of the budget being able to manage this. So Colin is going to be shared among the 4 elementary schools, and he is from UMass with a degree in computer science, and doing some technology, helping out at that level. Brand new position for us this year, so welcome to you, Colin. Also, some people that you may have seen before, one being Jessica Kitchen. Now, Jessica is one of those folks that I mentioned earlier. Jessica actually joined us late in the year last year, late in the calendar year. She came along in November, and so she's here today. And Jessica is a math specialist, and that's a shared position at Foster and Plymouth River. So welcome, Jessica. Also, Mary Andrews. Mary's been in Hingham for a long, long time. And her husband, Joe, is our technology coordinator, and Mary and Joe have 4 children in the Hingham Public Schools. So you'll come across an Andrews child somewhere, no matter where you are. Mary is replacing Lainey Silver as our long-term director of English and Language Arts. And so welcome to your new role, not to the district, but to the new role. And lastly, a brand new position, James, not a brand new position, a brand new hire. In fact, it doesn't even have a contract yet, but we're getting to that point, Jim. James Quattromoni, and James is our new athletic director. And Jim comes to us from Hull with a lot of experience, and he tells the story that he lives at West Corner in Hingham, so the local folks know that if you look at Hingham High School and West Corner and Hull High School, which is at the end of the earth, literally the end of the earth, way out on the point, his office now at the high school is going to be closer to his house than his office at Hull High School was, although he had a better view there. Okay, so I'd like to introduce the other directors, and because you're all scattered around, if the directors would stand, I don't want to miss anybody. So Hingham is fortunate to have K-12 directors in our core subjects, and so going from my left to right, Katie Roberts, Director of Science, K-12, Erica Pollard, Director of Foreign Language, Heather Rodriguez, who is the Counseling Director, and that includes the guidance counselors and the adjustment counselors. Andy Hoy, Director of Social Studies, and Dave Jewett, Director of Mathematics. Did we get everybody? And Mary, of course. Thank you. All right, so from here on, I will introduce the principal. We have 2 new principals, so they will be introduced at that time, but if the principals each would introduce their assistant principal, and then the staff new to the building, I hope we will have given everyone a chance to be recognized. So why don't we start with Foster School and Debbie Stella.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a great year here in the Hingham Public Schools. First of all, I would like to introduce Mrs. Newell. Mrs. Newell is the assistant principal at Foster, and we're delighted that she is with us this coming year as well. We have one staff member to introduce, and that is Charlotte. Charlotte, if you would just stand. Charlotte Seelan Basu, did I say it right? Just got married 3 weeks ago. We're delighted to bring her on board. She will be a long-term substitute for Mrs. Alden, who will not be with us. And she is a Foster graduate, a Hingham High School graduate, also a graduate from Southern Methodist University, an undergraduate degree in sociology, and a graduate degree in elementary education. She is certified both in Texas and in Massachusetts, began her career there, came back to us last year. We were delighted that she chose to work with us in the paraeducator and long-term role, substitute role at Foster in the spring. But the other piece about her that is very exciting is that she is also musical. She has worked as the director of music for the Kids Cabaret here in Hingham when she's been here in the summers, and has also spent some of her summertime working at the South Shore Collaborative with children. We are thrilled to have Charlotte with us, and if we could give her a round of applause again, we'll be glad to have her here.
Thanks, Debbie. So you're going to notice that we have a smaller number of new teachers at the elementary. This is the second year in a row that has been the case, and a larger number at the secondary level, particularly at the high school this year. So next, let me introduce Tony Keaty. Tony is the principal at East School. And for those of you who are really new to Hingham, East School also houses our preschool program for the district.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Tony Keaty, Principal, East Elementary School. I'll start, obviously, by introducing the woman who really drives the school, our Assistant Principal, Becky Case. We do have one new hire this year. We're thrilled to welcome, Michaela Finn will be one of our integrated preschool teachers. Michaela has been part of the Hingham Public Schools for the past several years. She's been a para here at the middle school. She's also been a para at East for the past few years, working at our integrated preschool program. For those of you who are not aware, our preschool program provides services for children between the ages of 3 and 5 who have an identified special needs. We provide services for those children. We also invite in typically developing peer models to help build the children's social skills. If you have a chance to come by and visit our integrated preschool program, our staff does an amazing job. So we're lucky to welcome Michaela as well. So thank you.
A little more about you as a group. There are 23 teachers who were new this year, and then the couple that started last year after the year had begun. So 23 new folks. All but 4 of you have a master's degree, and 6 of you have a degree beyond the master's level. So next, let me call upon Melissa Smith. Now, Melissa's not new to Hingham. She's been the assistant principal for a number of years at Plymouth River. And at one point, Melissa, how many years were you also at East? 1 year. Back when we opened East School, we had some budget concerns and we had to reduce our staff somewhat. So for several years we had shared elementary principals, but fortunately we're back to an elementary principal in each one of the buildings. But this year, Melissa has moved to the principalship role. We had a lengthy search and a lot of good candidates, but Melissa came out on top, so congratulations again for that, Melissa. Melissa Smith, Plymouth River School.
Good morning, everyone. First person I'd like to introduce is my new assistant principal, Charlene Fabrizio. After an extensive candidate search involving 72 applicants, formally interviewing 6 semifinalists with a large panel, and some on-site visits, I'm pleased to announce Charlene as the new assistant principal at Plymouth River. She came to us from Needham Public Schools, She earned a bachelor's degree in communication science and disorders with a minor in psychology. She also has her master's degree in speech and language pathology. She is licensed as an elementary principal and also an administrator of special education. In addition, she is a certified reading specialist and has obtained her SEI endorsement as an administrator. In her past roles, she served as a chairperson and chaired initials, 3-year reevals, and planned for the extended school year summer program. Welcome, Charlene. Plymouth River also has 2 new teacher hires, both of which are special educators. We have Cassandra Pacella. She is our new grade 5 special education teacher. Cassie earned her bachelor's degree in elementary education from Quinnipiac University and also her master's degree in special education from Bridgewater State University. She's had many teaching experience, including grade 1 long-term substitute in Connecticut, a paraeducator, and a grade 5 long-term special education teacher at Foster Elementary School. Most recently, she was a special education teacher in Weymouth for 1 year. In her free time, she enjoys coaching gymnastics varsity teams. We are happy to welcome Cassie back to Hingham. And we also have Kristen Buckley, who is our new kindergarten special education teacher, half-time. Kristen holds a bachelor's in elementary education and a master's degree in moderate special needs, both from Boston College. She has completed her level 1 Wilson reading certification, and she's worked at special education programs at the South Shore Collaborative for the past 16 years. In most recent years, she volunteered at Hingham Public Schools and also worked as a substitute teacher around the district. She is a familiar face to PRS. She was an active parent and now has gained the professional respect and confidence of the teaching staff and administration at PRS and also at South Elementary. She's diligent and professional in every teaching assignment she's assigned to. Outside of teaching, she was an active member of the PTO and has also taught religious education at St. Paul's in town. Welcome, Kristen.
And last but not least, Mary Eastwood, principal of South School.
Thank you, Dot. I think other than Dot, I might be the person who's been in Hingham the longest. And it's definitely, the first day I walked in, I was told by a colleague that it was a teacher trap, and it's an everything trap. It's a phenomenal place to work. Everything that's been said up to this point is totally true times a million. It's just, you're gonna love it here. Very supportive environment, and everybody's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm lucky to be starting, I think it's year 39, but I'm not positive, I think it's year 39. So I have 3 people to introduce, and before I do that, I want to introduce my assistant principal, Lori Jacobs. We're very fortunate to have Lori at South School, and I do have to say that, you know, working in the summer, sometimes in the beginning, you're so happy because it's quiet and you can get things done, and then it gets a little lonely. So I couldn't have been happier the days that Lori came in, and we worked like crazy to get things done. And then I'm so happy that she's back at work full time now, and we just really love to, you know, run South School together. So I'm very appreciative to Lori. I'd like to introduce our new people, so I'm going to start doing alphabetical order, and the funny thing is it starts with P, with the alphabetical order. So Jordan Perry is the first person that I'm introducing, and Jordan is going to be a teacher in our Intensive Skills 2 class. For those of you who don't know, we have 2 intensive skills classes at the elementary level. One is at East School, and we have the older children at South School. So Jordan's going to be taking over there. Jordan graduated from the University of New Hampshire, and she has a BA in psychology, and also from Endicott College with a master's in severe special education. And she sat for her BCBA exam in August, so we know she was sure she passed that with flying colors. And she's a perfect candidate for this job because she has experience as an ABA counselor at Crossroads School for Children, and also as a home-based ABA counselor, and many other experiences in education and with children before that. So welcome, Jordan. Welcome to South School. Welcome to Hingham. The next person's name starts with a T, so Lauren Tarocco is our next introduction, and Lauren is going to be working as our adjustment counselor at South School. And we all went through a lot of processes. There were many applicants for Jordan's job as well as Lauren's, and I think there were 55 for Lauren's job. And so I say that up front because she was the best candidate for the job, but she's also a former student of mine, so that's kind of exciting. But definitely the best candidate for the job as well. She went to Assumption College and got a Bachelor of Arts in Human Services and Rehabilitation Psychology, and then went on to Boston College for her MSW. Lauren has been working for several years in the field. She worked for a couple of years in Quincy and did a great job there, and then moved on to Norwood and was going back and forth between two schools. So when we explained to her that South School had 500 students, and during the interview, and would that work out, she said, well, I had 400 at each of the schools I went to, and that was 800 between two schools, so we knew that 500 would be a piece of cake. Right, Lauren? And she's a perfect fit for the job and has much experience. So welcome, Lauren, to South School. Thank you. And then we also have someone who's recently married. Mara came in to interview, Mara Baxter. She's going to be teaching second grade. She came in as Mara Baxter when she came in for her interview, and then I think 4 days later was getting married. So anyone that can interview under pressure and plan a wedding at the same time, that's definitely someone who can handle coming to South School and teaching second grade. So welcome, Mara. And Mara graduated from St. Michael's College with the Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education. And she has her master's degree from Southern New Hampshire University in Curriculum and Instruction Technology Integration. Mara has experience as a grade 2 teacher in the T-Ticket Elementary School in Falmouth, and also grade 4, a few years as grade 4 as well in New Hampshire at the Shaker Road Private School. So Mara came highly recommended, as did all our other candidates, and we're looking forward to a great year. And we welcome Mara, who is now Mara Yodzio. She did get married on July 7th, if I remember correctly. So that's why she's at the end, and I didn't introduce her at the beginning. So welcome, Mara. Have a super year, everybody.
All right, and next for the secondary level, middle school principal Derrick Smith.
Thank you, good morning, welcome to Hingham Middle School and welcome to the Hingham Public School District. You've made a great choice, you're going to be very happy you're joining a remarkable district with many impressive professional educators. You're going to be very pleased with your decision. Before I forget, as is a tradition with the middle school predating me, we typically forget to introduce our assistant principals, so thank you for the reminder. Allison Janowitz and David Reardon are our two assistant principals at the middle school. Very fortunate to have their support day in and day out. We have a handful of new and not so new people at the middle school to introduce to you. I'd like to start with Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown will be joining our social studies department. He'll be a grade 7 world geography teacher. In addition to his previous teaching experience in Belchertown, Matthew was a camp counselor at Camp Wing, and having brought our 6th graders to Camp Wing for the past several years, we know that Matt is prepared for middle school. We've seen the type of work that's done at Camp Wing, very impressive, and his energy and enthusiasm is infectious. We look forward to a great year with Matt. We can clap for Matt. Next, I'd like to introduce Jessica Flaherty. Jessica Flaherty will be joining our science department, grade 8 IPS. Jessica has degrees from Regis and Bridgewater State College, and her previous experience at Weymouth High School has prepared her well for her new role at Hingham Middle School. Welcome, Jessica. Thank you. One of our not-so-new employees, our not-so-new hires, is Dr. Allison Allie Flynn. Dr. Flynn is our school psychologist. We share her with the high school, but since Rick Swanson will be introducing pretty much everybody in this room today, I offered to introduce Allie. Allie was with us all through last year. She came on as a long-term substitute in that role, and we are fortunate to have the opportunity to bring her on in a more permanent basis. We knew that Allie was the right person for the job immediately during our interview process last year, but when she came to work all excited to go see the newest installment in the Star Wars series, I knew that we had found the right person for a middle school psychologist. So welcome back to Allie Flynn. Another not exactly new person at Hingham Middle School is Maryanne Gately. Maryanne will be joining our special education department. She will be a grade 6 special education liaison. Maryanne was a paraeducator with us last year. She has previous experience at the North River Collaborative and in the Rockland Public School System. In addition to her work as a paraeducator last year, Maryanne was involved in our extended school year program, and she did a tremendous job in each and every role that we've seen her in. So welcome, Maryanne. And our final new person is Kristin Schreiber. Kristin will be, we can give her a round of applause. Kristin will be doing double duty at the middle school. She's going to be teaching grade 7 life science and grade 8 earth science. Kristin is one of those individuals who we had the opportunity to interview over the internet. Katie Roberts and I sat around a laptop, and if you can convey that sense of passion for education on a tiny screen like Kristin did, you're going to do wonderfully here at the middle school. It's really a tremendous quality and something that we need in our faculty working with students this age. Kristin attended University of Texas in Austin, and her previous experience was at the Lamar Middle School in Austin, Texas. Welcome, Kristin. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful year.
Dr. Ed, have you met up with Kristin? Okay, they have a connection, special connection. Okay, next we have our second new principal, whose name is Rick Swanson. And Rick has been with us for about 10 years as an assistant principal at the high school, and he was appointed as principal of the high school early in the summer. And again, we had a group of very strong candidates, and Rick is the person that we all felt was the right person for the right time for this job. So Rick has, I think, 10 or 11 people to introduce, and we're running a bit late, so he's a very efficient guy, and I think he'll be able to manage us back in time.
Thank you very much. I'll do my best to speak quickly, and I'd like to welcome my longtime partner, Assistant Principal Jennifer Henriksen, who's here. And she will be joined this year on our leadership team by a brand new assistant principal. This summer, my very first order of business was to hire a replacement for myself as assistant principal, and that's Colin Shattuck, sitting right in the middle here. Colin has been hard at work here in Hingham since the very beginning of July when he joined our leadership team as my replacement. He comes to us from Wellesley High School, where he's been a special education teacher for the past 7 years. He's a native of Mid-Coast, Maine. Colin earned a bachelor's degree in theater and dramatic literature at Wheaton College, and he has since completed a master's in education at Fitchburg State and a CAGS in school administration at the Education Collaborative in Boston, or Cooperative in Boston. Colin has taught in a number of settings, both internationally with REDAC Educational Services and also at the Brandon Residential Treatment Center in Natick. A collegiate basketball player himself, Colin also brings an extensive coaching background, both at the college level and at Wellesley High School. He lives in Dedham with his wife, who is a math teacher at Marshfield High School, and his 2 children, a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son, Colin Shattuck. And I'm going to go alphabetically through the departments. I do have quite a few people to introduce. We're going to start with our English department. We welcome Tracy Newman as a long-term substitute for 2 sections of 9th grade humanities. She's a familiar presence in the English department as she's been working with our high school teachers over the past several years in her role as an ELA paraprofessional. Tracy's a graduate of Providence College, and she's not only certified to teach English in grades 5 through 12, but is also in the process of completing a master's degree in library media for grades K-12 at Salem State. She lives in Hanover with her husband and 2 sons, and we're delighted to have her continuing on as a valued member of the English department, Tracy Newman. Also in English, Nicole Lytle. Same table. We're grateful to have Nicole Lytle with us as a long-term substitute who will be teaching American literature to our juniors. Nicole holds a BA in English from the University of Pennsylvania and an MA in English education from Bridgewater State. Having completed a number of long-term sub-positions, Nicole brings with her some valuable classroom experience and impressive expertise in the subject matter. Nicole and her husband live here in Hingham, and they're the proud parents of 3 Hingham High School graduates. Nicole Lytle. And in our guidance department, also a familiar face, she actually returning for her 3rd year at Hingham High School, but for the first time as a full-time counselor as our post-secondary planning coordinator, Cathy Savory. Cathy has a bachelor's in sociology from Fitchburg State, a master's in social work from BU, and 7 years of experience at Archbishop Williams High School in their counseling department. She came to Hingham High 3 years ago and has been a terrific addition to our staff. She lives in Duxbury with her 3 boys, 1 in middle school, 2 in the high school. Cathy Savory. And in the math department, Jacqueline Lateo. Jacqueline joins us after spending the last 6 years at the Snowden International Public School in Boston, where she particularly exhibited a specific passion for helping struggling learners. Originally from Weymouth, she's a graduate of Northeastern University with a bachelor's degree in mathematics. She's also earned her master's in teaching math from Tufts University. Jacqueline will be teaching Algebra 1 linear emphasis and Algebra 2 this upcoming school year. She recently moved to Duxbury with her husband and a brand new baby, Jacqueline Lateo. And in the nursing department, Christina McManus. Among the many Hingham legends who announced their retirement last year was our veteran nurse, Pat Simon, and we have found a terrific candidate to fill her big shoes. We're thrilled that Christina, an RN with no less than 14 years of nursing experience, will be joining our staff. She earned a bachelor's in nursing at Simmons College before going on to complete a master's at Loyola University in New Orleans. She brings a wealth of experience in some great hospitals, including Boston Medical Center, Milton Hospital, Newton Wellesley, and New England Baptist. She's no stranger to school settings, though, as she recently worked as a substitute at Milton High School and discovered how much she enjoyed working in that kind of environment. We're delighted that she'll bring those skills here to Hingham. And in physical education, Erica Smith. Erica's over here. At the high school, it's not just a time of transition, but also a time of growth. The expansion of our physical education and health and wellness programs has given us the opportunity to add a new faculty member in that area. A veteran teacher with 13 years of experience at Brockton High School, Erica Smith possesses both a bachelor's and a master's degree in physical education, as well as a CAGS in educational leadership, all from Bridgewater State, where she is nothing short of a legend, an accomplished athlete whose plaque has hung in the Bridgewater State Athletic Hall of Fame since 2011. Erica also holds coaching records at Bridgewater State. In fact, she remains the winningest coach for both field hockey and women's lacrosse in school history. We hope she'll one day make a return to coaching at Hingham High, but for now she'll be more focused on her own small children, and rightfully so. Erica's raising those children here in Hingham, along with her husband Matt, who's an officer with the Hingham Police Department. Erica Smith. And in special education, 2 new staff members. First, Alyssa DeGeorge. Alyssa is new to the high school this year, but not new to the district or to the 9th grade students who will soon be in her classroom. For the past year and a half, she's been busy making an excellent impression on everybody at the middle school, where she has worked as a paraeducator in the special education department. She's originally from Cohasset, where she graduated from Cohasset High School before pursuing a bachelor's degree in speech pathology at Emerson, and later a dual master's degree in moderate and severe special needs. She's almost finished at Lesley University. Alyssa will be teaching special education students in our sub-separate functional academics life skills program. She lives in Dorchester with her husband and their French bulldog, Alyssa DeGeorge. And Lynn Cobb. Lynn is our most recent hire, freshly signed to a Hingham contract at the end of last week, and boy were we lucky to lure her away from Hanover Middle School, where she has been a special education teacher for the past 3 years. At Hanover, she taught in a sub-separate program for students with severe disabilities. Prior to that, she spent 4 years at Norwell High School in a role that was very similar to the one she'll fill for us, teaching academic support classes for students with moderate disabilities. A native of Belmont, where she attended Belmont High School, Lynn went on to earn a bachelor's degree at St. Anselm and later a master's in intensive special needs at Leslie. She lives in Plimpton with her husband and her 3 children, who range in age from 9 to 15. Lynn, come. And finally, last but not least, in world languages, Choo Lee. Ms. Lee is joining us from Clough Academy, a public international baccalaureate middle school in Brockton. She's been teaching Chinese to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders for 7 years. She's also taught weekend Chinese classes at the Cambridge Center for Chinese Culture. Her resume, if you've looked at it on the sheet, very impressive. A bachelor's from Shandong Finance Institute and a master's in human resources from Monash University in Australia. I bet there's nobody else in the district with degrees from those institutions. She has worked in Singapore and now lives here in Hingham, and we're delighted to welcome Choo Lee to Hingham Public Schools. So, I hope I spoke fast enough, Doc. Take a deep breath. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Now, I'm hoping the answer to my next question is no, but so anyone in the room that we didn't introduce? Okay, good job, everyone. Well, I'm impressed. I hope you two particularly are impressed. When I've been impressed one by one as I've met with each of you, but seeing you all and hearing the credentials yet again is really a terrific thing, and big welcome. So at this point, the bus is waiting outside the front door. So those of you who are teachers and who are part of the mentor and induction program will go there and be brought back here for the rest of the day, and you'll come here tomorrow morning as well. And the rest of us will go back and do what we need to do to get ready for students next Monday. Thank you all. Welcome to Hingham.